Yo, what up, guys? So, today, I've been getting frustrated most of the day, trying to figure out, how is it, at least where I'm from, Wisconsin, you don't hear of public officials being punished until us as as a community stand on their neck and make them do something for this misconduct, this misjustice, this whatever. And to me, it points out that we're at fault for not pressing the issues of qualified officials being in these positions to make the calls when the calls need to be made, when it gets hard, when it gets dirty, it gets sensitive. And this brings me to the Steve Avery case and that young boy that's in there. And I go through this, and like you've seen in my other video, I've gone through police misconduct. They've lied on oath. They would hunt down children to just charge them with something, follow them around all over town, all over the city. I could get a list of people that could say the same. It was so bad. They had to start filing restraining orders against them. And this exists everywhere. And my problem is, I want to start by saying next to zero members of the government ever say, whoops, I messed up, and just acknowledge it and move on. Their ego, their public image is too important for them to act as though they're human and they would make a mistake. So they'll be arrogant and just do nothing. They'd rather do nothing and lie and hide than do the right thing. They'll stutter and quickly make excuses for their behavior and mistakes, squeezing the beliefs and thoughts of outsiders looking into the gray zone, the place where maybe exists. This is where these guys scurry to. These public apologies, mind you, aren't from their heart. It's because they were caught. They were chased into a corner that they finally can't get their greasy, weaselly ass out of. This is the problem. We need to decide what people are in these positions. This goes for police too. And I'm not saying all officials and all police are bad, but this is a very real scenario we're in. I just did some statistics, or was looking over some, to find out there is rumors of a blue code of silence, which makes sense to me. It's kind of like the code of the streets. You don't say anything. You don't tell on your brother. They're running the same thing, and to me, logically, that makes sense. You protect those you're around. The only difference is, more often than not, in fact, apparently it said 1 in 4.7 officers. Why 4.7? I don't know, unless I read that wrong. Are guilty of misconduct. And the problem with that is, this misconduct starts, and someone else is watching this take place. So that influences, to some extent, them. It creates this idea, well, so and so got away with it, and all he had to do was lie to get away with it, because no one's holding these people accountable. My opinion, the higher they are up the food chain, the more lies they gave out to get to that position. It's like, it's common. Like, look at the Steve Avery case. If it doesn't make sense, what things in life do you ever know of people getting away with murders like this? They're always like, it's like just some high whatever, something above average society that gets away with stuff like this. Everything in this case is so weird. It doesn't make sense. They're offering new cases. They don't offer you a new trial for nothing. And all these guys this whole time, and I hope in that case whoever did it is held accountable. But if you have shady little people in the mix just because they didn't like this family, just because someone had a hidden agenda, so they made the evidence fit to convict. It, it's super common, and officers and high up officials have feelings. They get offended, they get annoyed, they get sick of people, and they're the first ones that are going to lie about it and hide it and act like they don't. How do you get away with blaming someone else for a crime being taken place? Who has the knowledge to make that happen? An average citizen? On a fluke? On a chance of good luck? Faith was on some average citizen side that did this. The inconsistencies in the evidence is the issue here. I look at the picture alone of that steering wheel and that dashboard, and imagine you getting in your car. I would imagine gloves would be worn or something, but I cannot physically understand how that smear got there. How do you get a smear to go up and down and then to the side? And mind you, the only thing your hands do when they're by this part of the car is put the key in and start it. I'm trying to make sense of this. And if I'm wrong about this, that's fine, but the officials involved in this, that dirtbag Kratz, I think was his name. When I look at that guy, having been locked up so long, you have nothing but time. You essentially study people, and all different kinds of people. I was in federal prison, so I studied people from all across the country, some even out of the country. But in common, there's always that secretive, that dirty, that dark part of someone that sits there, and you can feel it, you can see it. I hear it in his voice. Every time he does this, I think he's like apologizing for some dirty sin, so he rubs it out on his mustache to make up for it or something, you know? Look at Avery. Look at the conversations that have taken place with Avery, and look at the conversations that have taken place with Kratz or Katz or whatever his name is. He's a nobody. He's nothing. He's a pile of garbage. And tell me, who would look like the more evil of the two? Just use your basic human instinct on this. I get a dirtbag, grimy feeling when I personally look at this guy. And I'll tell you one thing, that apology he gave, this dude is disgusting. How do you run an organization to protect abused women and you take advantage of them and you're married? You're a dirtbag, dude. He's garbage. And if I would have been in his position running that organization, not connected as an official in the government, what do you think would have happened to me? Do you think I would have just been able to give a public apology and go home and keep my job? I'd be locked up. I'd be done. And the apology wasn't legit. He gave you that apology because he had to, because it's the right thing to do. Like where I'm from, I don't apologize unless I'm sorry because my heart feels I'm sorry. This dude's as fake as they come. He is what I would call an ass kisser, a dick rider, a yes ma'am, yes sir, whatever you say, sir. He just does whatever so he can be in a position. He's not a He doesn't have courage to be a man and admit when he's wrong. Do you think he would admit if he was wrong? He created this whole scenario, and all these police. They created this necessity to let it be Avery so bad, and their egos are so ridiculous. They will never back down and say we were wrong until you force them in a corner and make them say they were wrong. That's a coward. A man, someone with honor, a little bit of integrity, someone that cares about their legacy, who they are, is going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I messed up. I was off. The evidence does look whack. It doesn't make sense. My feelings were hurt, so on and so forth. You know what happens if he does that? He loses credibility. He'll probably lose his job. He's going to lose friends. He's going to gain a lot of haters. They have to lie because of how they carried it out all from the beginning. And, you know, these are all my opinions. And my opinions are based on facts and life that I've experienced. And there is a lot of official dirtbags, a lot of people in high places that have no courage to do what's right. They're, who knows? It's so foreign to me to see this. And this attitude is part of how I fueled myself to take a wrong path. Because, like, a lot of these things I understood from the beginning. This gray area, this maybe area, is a disgusting and deadly place to be for me. I would rather you not say to my face, oh, I care about you, I love you, but then behind my back you don't mean it. I would respect you more to come to my face and say, yo, I don't really care about you. I would care about you more telling me that than being fake. And it always comes to light. Kratz was put in the spotlight for choices he made. And I'll tell you what, from what I know about living a bad life of bad karma, that's just the first one he got caught for. My opinion. That's just the first one that people have brought attention to. If they dug and they looked harder, even at these so-called dirty police in this, and again, this is all my opinion. None of this is we'll just keep it as simple as my opinions on record in this video. That's it. I wouldn't be surprised if you started digging up misconduct records on the officers involved in this and started talking to people that were around in the area back then, that you would find other instances where perhaps these same accused people are also accused of doing stuff in other circumstances where other people got convicted of similar like behavior from these officials. If I can get this thing going, guys, if I can get enough people watching these videos and liking, I will start hunting down the bad, crazy, crappy people who don't ever hold themselves accountable and keep getting away with making people's lives miserable. They get to, oh, yep, he did that. I get to go home to bed, and I get a little bit of clout through media and news. Meanwhile, people are suffering. They're losing their lives. People are being damaged. And not only that, imagine this. Imagine if Avery didn't do this. Where is the person that did it? Isn't this about them? Isn't this about justice? Or is this about ego? Is this about clout? Is this about showing, from what I've seen, the most manipulated case publicly known so far? Manipulated meaning there's so much stuff that was set up like a movie. It was directed to take place as it did. It was weird. It doesn't make sense. We have a bad history of letting these people slide. And I don't want anyone hurt, but if we ever expect change to come to us, to come to how our government and our system is handled, the real men and women that can stand on yes and no, right and wrong, step into place. Don't come in with dirty baggage and you did something, so now you owe someone a favor, so they're gonna do something wrong. You let it slide. I'm an official. I'm gonna let it slide because I owed you a favor. Don't come in with that baggage. Bring some pure people in here that have no motive and have love for justice. They have a love for what's right and what's wrong. Don't be a simpleton like this. Dare. Or just say no. Yeah, that worked. And I'm waiting to dig in to how beneficial drugs in this country are. It's on another topic, so I don't want to dig into it now. But it's the most beneficial to the government and the entities, or not entities, but the superior people above them. The unknowns we know nothing about. The tiers of control above, like, our government is just the representative of whoever's above them, and a representative for us. Yeah, like I said, this is just all my opinion. I really want to dig into this case. I really need you guys' support, though. I want to do more like this. If you guys like this stuff, please share it. Please like it. Please comment. Subscribe. This is just what little effort and what little time I have right now. I want you guys to push me into wanting to do more with this. And let me know if there's other stuff, other people, information. Let me know. Hit me up. And I'll see what I can do to get more of this information out there. All right, yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, love you guys. Come on, keep me motivated, keep me going, and I'll stay on them. And like I said, if I got a gut feeling this Avery thing, it's off. Something's not right. And if I'm wrong, I will definitely acknowledge my mistakes, as a man or woman should. Acknowledge your mistakes when you're wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I had this gut instinct when I got indicted. I've had this gut instinct over other important stuff in my life, and it is usually right. Something's weird about this. Get word out. Help these people. If not for them, attention on this case definitely gives real relief to the family involved and what really happened. Would you guys want someone who didn't do this to be locked away and then just be done with it, or do you want to know who did it? And that's what we got to do, help them out in any way you can, just so we get the right answer, not the easiest answer. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a good night.